Blocking a scene is the process of outlining an actor's movement within a scene. From this, we can work out where the camera needs to go, where the lights might need to be moved, and if that bright red car across the street needs to get out of frame because it's distracting. Hi people of the internet, my name's Scott, a director and cinematographer based in London, England, and today I wanted to go over the process of blocking. Now, although blocking can often dictate where your camera and lighting go, the placement of the camera is termed staging. On occasion, the camera might need to be in a specific spot for whatever reason, lighting, or maybe there's just physically nowhere else it can actually be put, and in turn, that can dictate the blocking itself. I've got two examples I want to share with you. One from a slightly more relaxed, scripted comedy TV show.
There is no baked beans here.
I say more relaxed in the sense that we had at least a couple of takes at getting performances we needed. And one for a surprise and delight performance as part of McDonald's Christmas campaign at the tail end of last year. Just one chance to get it right and very little opportunity to cover up any mistakes. Firstly, the TV show. Now, this really is blocking at its most basic. It's dialogue between three people, with no big camera moves or movement from the talent to try and convey any sort of power dynamic or hidden deeper meaning. There is a focus pull though, so hold on to your smartphone. We needed coverage and the editor needed options. Here's the scene. Two young women are taken by surprise by a creepy store clerk. They're looking for the beans. The blocking, or positioning of the actors, allowed us to cover their dialogue back and forth in the simplest way possible within the confines of the layout of the store, whilst allowing us to position them in a place that works for a reveal that ties the geography of the space together. Am I making sense, or is this just so basic that it's not even worth explaining? As I mentioned, this really is blocking at its most basic. Shooting schedule, space, and resources really didn't allow for much more than getting the shots in the most efficient way possible and quickly moving on in this show. I will, however, link a great video by Studio Binder in the description that goes into how some of the big dogs go about blocking and staging their scenes in a much more considered approach to really add to the stories that they're trying to tell. In this second example, for another content job that I directed at the end of last year with my friends at Detail Films as part of McDonald's Christmas campaign here in the UK, the blocking was dictated by our restrictions. We were shooting a surprise and delight moment. Some lucky chosen McDonald's employees were out singing a lackluster cover of the 80s classic Time After Time in amongst a bunch of other carols at a busking spot in Piccadilly Circus, promoting one of the many charities McDonald's supports around Christmas. Pop singer Mabel, who had covered the track for their Christmas TV ad, would then bowl up and join them in the song, surprising the singers and delighting the audience. Ooh. Surprise and delight. The problem with the given location was the iconic Piccadilly Circus lights, which is a giant 783.5 metre squared screen that shows a ton of ads on it. Other brands being featured in a McDonald's ad is a big no-no, so you might think we would choose to shoot this somewhere else. But no, this was the location. So it was important that firstly, the multiple roaming cameras we had dotted around the place weren't shooting directly at any big brand logos. And secondly, that when Mabel approached the carol singers, we were able to still avoid these brand logos whilst capturing the moment. And being reality, we only had one opportunity to capture that. I used my existing knowledge of the location, along with both Google Maps and the Lumos app, to plan ahead of shooting which would be the best place to position the carolers and which would be the best place to have the talent approach from, with the intention of avoiding as many non-McDonald's brand names as possible. I was also hoping to be able to use the position of the sun to make it look sexy, but due to the time of the day that we had the permit to shoot for, combined with the large buildings surrounding the location and the low winter sun, this thought was out the window. But know that the thought was there. If you found this video even the slightest bit helpful, then be a living legend and give it a like. It really helps the video to spread to more people and gives me that momentary endorphin hit that I so crave in order to keep on creating and sharing. Make sure to come back next week for more semi-helpful tips and interesting insider industry knowledge.